If you're watching this as a playback or for the first time, particularly, thank you for doing so. Sorry, I'm holding my laptop. So, yeah, my other hand is pretty much hiding. So, if you're watching these as a playback, thank you for doing so. If this is your first time, this segment is called Say It Like It Is, where we talk about eclectic topics that affect us as Black folks within the Black community, diaspora, and community. You can send me your stories to foodchannel1960 at gmail.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, look in the description below uh, for my email address. All right. Feel free to bang me your stories, any trending topics. I'll definitely make you anonymous. All right. So, the premise of this is so we can learn one or two things from this and improve as a group of people. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. So, this is story time. Basically, this story came in about 8 hours ago from one of my viewers who would like me to talk about their experience. What's up, Rita? Oluwajuwon, Sheyi Fumi, Otas. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Story Time. Smash the like button if you can hear me. Hello, Dima. If you can hear me, you can see me. What's going on, people? So, as I said, this person's story, B. Irvin, came in 8 hours ago, and they would like me to share their story. So I've got the story opened up here. The title is already making my blood boil. Psalm T. Yes. Hello from Cameroon. Hey, Evelyn, what's up? Right. Smash that like button. If you can hear me, you can see me, so we can gain more traction. Franco De Niro. I did that. Well, I'm all right, thank you. So I'm going to read this story, okay? This person says, "Hi, Phrankleen. I'm furious right now. I am the first of three kids. My dad used to be a director with the federal ministry when we were younger. We had beautiful things life had to offer, but then things went downhill when he was asked to resign before time. All right. Later on, we had to manage what we were given as kids. When everyone was nice, when everyone had nice clothes, shoes, school bags, we managed the ones we had over the years, and none of us complained about it. Anyway, you get the gist, right? I finished school and started working in 2007 with a big telecoms company. I provided for everyone, including my siblings. This person is a woman, actually. I always sacrifice my happiness for my family. Before I buy clothes, I would have thought of what will be needed in the house. I changed the furniture, kitchen cabinets, got a new TV, name it. Things were not easy for me because it was not like I was earning $250,000, but I was ready to satisfy my family. So this is all that she did for her family, right? So I got married in 2011. By then, I had changed my workplace. I work in an oil firm. Said I single-handedly paid for my parents' rent yearly. I give them feeding allowance, and my mom does not hesitate to ask for money for Ashoebi. For those that do not understand Yoruba, money for Ashoebi is basically the clothing, the fabrics that is commonly, procured within our society when people want to attend, parties and occasions and stuff like that. All right, shoes or what she needs to give Iyalagbaja some money. I kept satisfying everyone at my expense. Remember now, I have a family and just gave birth, which is my priority. In 2012, I lost my job, so I couldn't provide for them. My husband and I were still trying to make ends meet with our family, not to talk of extended. Now, my younger sister came into the UK, so she will only send feeding allowance of 20,000 naira to them, and she'll disappear. She even hardly calls. My mom keeps calling her to ask for money. My dad is of the habit to use my mom to get money from my sister. I looked at both of them and I get angry. They keep complaining that she doesn't give them enough, and since I don't have a job, I just keep quiet. So my husband moved back to the UK. He's a British citizen, but the kids and I were in Nigeria. My mom expects that I give her money anytime she asks because my husband is now in the UK, as if money grows on trees in the UK. I was so angry that I stopped picking her calls. I got into the UK last year and my parents' rent is almost due and the landlord has asked that they leave. My sister and I asked that they move to a place in the same area which will be affordable for us. Phrankleen, can you imagine what my father said? He said he wants us to buy him a bungalow with a big compound. I'm so angry writing this right now. What the force does he mean we should build him a bungalow? I just got here in 10 months. He said his status is not supposed, based on his status, he's not supposed to live in a rented apartment. What a lovely father. He said, he said based on his status. Status means is level within the society. As a big man, you get. So anyway, he's not supposed to live in a rented apartment. What the heck? What status? Is he just realizing he didn't build a house? Meanwhile, my dad had 6 plots of land in Ikorodu area of Lagos that was taken over by Omonile. Omonile are the land, what's it called? What do you call them, man? These thugs that, land racketeering fraudsters that snatch people's lands. Anyway, he said that was taken over by Omonile. When he went to fight for the land, he was given a plot of land in Ajah area of Lagos. My father refused to accept it. Please, am I the cause of his predicament? My sister called me this morning furious. She said my dad has found a building in Ekpe area of Lagos for 10 million and that we should pay 2.5 million naira initial deposit and then 500,000 naira monthly. My head wanted to explode. With all the expenses in the UK, I will then add a effing 500k naira monthly to that. Why are our father's generation selfish? They only think about themselves. He said he wants to enjoy life before he dies. He is 82 years old, 82. And he's worried about his status. So if I had money, the lady even said, if I had money, I don't mind, but I don't have it. And he's refusing to accept this. I have stopped communicating with both my parents because the only thing they talk about is how you will spend money. Please share this story so that people will know that our parents' generation are selfish. End of story. So, for those of you that have just joined us midway, Vanessa, you're laughing. So some of these people are crazy, man. Somebody said you're looking good, Phrankleen. Brother's got to look good, man. What's up? Thank you, man. As crazy as this sounds, this story was sent to me about 8 hours ago, and I was just shaking my head. But today, I want to make emphasis on the older generation. I've talked about them in the past. These are the people we call parents and the generation that gave birth to them. They have caused so much damage and they're still causing us damage. They, honestly, unbeknown to a lot of people, these older generation, they are behind a lot of the problems that some of you are currently dealing with in your adult lives. All right? If you throw religiosity in the mix, these people are, a lot of them are absolutely dreadful with their decisions and choices. You know, you have an 82-year-old man. Did you hear all these things that this woman has done whilst living in Nigeria? How she has, she was working in oil and gas, how she has worked really hard, how she has contributed positively over the years before her husband even got to the point of coming to the UK, and then she deciding to join her husband and the children, right? She would always give them stuff. Her sister, on the other hand, is my favorite in this story. That's a woman after my heart. She's wild, man. She would send them just 20,000 20,000 naira, that's 10,000 naira to mom and dad on a monthly basis, and she's not going to pick anybody's calls. Look, man. And then this woman came here, and then in 10 months, you're already telling them you want a bungalow with a big compound at 82. You've spent 82 bloody years on the face of the planet. You're telling them that you are worried about your status. If that's not heightened selfishness, I don't know what else is. Do you understand? So the other day, I've said it severally that people should just say no, put your foot down, and I will keep saying that. But then I was looking at it, unpacking and looking at the nature of this problem and why a lot of people can't really say no. Like I said before, the damage is put in place when you're going through your formative years, and you get people being bullied by this so-called older generation. In Africa, the very nasty narrative, unfortunately, that's been weaponized against so many people by a lot of this older generation is, it's like, I gave birth to you. So bringing you into human existence, it's like, oh, I've ultimately done you a favor. No, you didn't. You had sex with the other parent. Whenever you had sex, maybe in the alleyway, maybe be in the backseat of a car, maybe in the bathroom, that love-making session brought me to existence. My father smashed you to smithereens. You got pregnant, right? Whatever the case may be, you brought the children into existence. How does that translate to you have done them a favor, whereby you put your claws into them and you must suck them dry? And you know what's interesting? It's the same older generation. Some of them, they watch me a lot. They watch me quietly. And this is how they watch me. This boy, Phrankleen, was sent to this planet by Lucifer. He will burn in hellfire. That's how they watch me, this older. This Phrankleen is an agent of the devil. He will burn in hellfire. That's that's how the older generation, they watch me. Some of them, I bump into them once in a while and they try to preach to me and tell me that I need Jesus. Ah. You know, The things you are telling our children, it's like you have signed contract with the devil. Hey, yo, look, man. They said I've signed contract with the devil because they don't want to acknowledge the truth. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want the truth. They don't want to hear it. They are very adamant, and when they don't have their way, they become absolutely vindictive. There was a guy that I bumped into the other way. I pissed myself laughing. He said his mom, he sent my video to his mom, one of my videos to his mom via WhatsApp. And the mom was like, you are watching that Phrankleen guy. That guy belongs in the pit of fire. I can already see it in the vision. And he was like, Mom, what? What's he done that would banish him into the pit of fire? And he said, that guy over there, that guy. Oh my. I want to banish me, see Peter. That guy and Satan, they have signed contract. He is turning our children against us, asking them not to give us money in our old age. Sorry, what? Man, in our old age, this guy, he doesn't like Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. He's always talking about Lucifer. I don't talk about no goddamn Lucifer much. All because we are emancipating people. Guide your resources. Protect your... Hey, yo, man. The other day, that reminds me. So this gentleman saw me somewhere in Southeast London. He's older. So I'm not lying what I'm about to say to you. I am not lying. So our husband was, this is Phrankleen. How are you, my brother? They like, he looks like in his early 60s. Wife looks like maybe late 50s. So the man was like, I don't agree with everything you say, but man, I love you and I respect your boldness and all that stuff. And, I was just smiling. I could, I was already giggling. I was struggling to keep a straight face because I can, adjacent in the corner of my eye, I can see that woman. See, but Phrankleen, like, this is the Phrankleen guy. So I said, Madam, is there any problem? I was struggling to keep a straight face. He was like, well, the truth be told, you look good in person, but still, I don't, at least I'll hold on to the compliment. So the husband was like, no, don't go there. He said, my wife doesn't like some of it. He said, yeah, you're saying that our children, check this out, on a more serious note, you are saying that our children should sort themselves out before sorting us out. Did you see? Did you hear what I said? That's what she has a problem with. You are telling them to sort themselves out before sorting out their parents. That is not how to live life. So she was telling me, oh, wait till you grow older. And I responded, I'm in the pathway whereby I'm already planning for my retirement so that when I'm old, I wouldn't have to wait for any child before I feed myself, before I enjoy my old age. The time is now. She was like, is that right? Anyway, have a nice day. If I have time, I will still watch your channel. Nah. So yeah, the older generation, man, they have these toxic culture. Unfortunately, they are products of the same toxic culture that they've passed on. And the very simple state of mind is the moment you step out of the shores of Africa, you're going into a part of the world where right from the airport, you start to pick forex on the floor. So they have zero regard for your well-being, your mental well-being, your survival. What is it that you're doing? They don't care. I cannot count the number of emails that I've received from people where their parents are basically threatening to ostracize them from the family tree if they don't do XYZ within certain frame of time. There was one recently, another guy that said his dad said before the June of 2023, right? He's been given ultimatum. This brother is a bus driver. It's a good job in the UK. He lives in London. He's a bus driver. His dad in Nigeria has given him ultimatum and said by June of next year, he needs to bring in two of his siblings to the US. To the UK. Imagine. Is that how you pick people up and just bring them with zero consideration for the person's welfare? Let me respond to this. I saw somebody. Children should sort themselves out, but they must not ignore their parents. Deola Famak, thank you for the comment. Now let me unpack that. Children must sort themselves, but they must not. You see, I agree that don't turn your back or ignore your parents. But there is also a question that runs concurrently with that statement. What kind of parent are you? Yorubani ashele la boaba. What kind of parent are you? Do you understand? I am of the opinion, if you're a loving parent, if you're a good parent, you're a reasonable parent, in your older years, when your children find their footings in life, from a shift where they would look after you, things will happen organically. And if they give you what they can afford, you accept it in love with utmost gratitude. You pray for them. You align with them. You hope that, of course, when things get better for them, they will sort you out. Do you understand? But this whole idea of you must not, let me tell you something. The problem with toxic parents is if you don't drop the toxicity, you will be forgotten. The world is changing. You will be abandoned. You will be set aside. You understand? Taking care of your parent is optional. Sorry, but no one has automatic access to my money. It's not a must. This is what I'm saying. Accept with gratitude. You see what we are addressing with African parent. Number one, let me put this in bullet point, is the sense of entitlement. That sense of entitlement, my goodness, it's like a stage 4 cancer. It's eaten deep into their marrows. They are very rude. They are very arrogant. They are very toxic. Etomini. Some of these parents will go to war with their children. For somebody like me, if you draw battle lines with me over my finance, that's where my horns will grow bigger. Oh, ní gbá ṣíṣì. Wàá gbọ́ lọ́hùn lọ́gà. Torí màá bá ẹ wọ̀, màá bá ẹ tẹ̀ kanlẹ̀. I'm an adult as I'm sat here. I'm a grown man. I have my personal life. I have a lovely wife. I have children. I have my own goals. I have things to do with my finance. My money that I work for, that I earned with my sweat. So no parent gets to dictate and tell me that, oh, you're entitled to my wallet. You're not. there's absolutely nothing wrong with if your parents tell you that, oh, I need help. Oh, mom, don't worry. Okay. Like I said, the fundamental point, a good parent, that you have a healthy, lifelong history with your children, things will fall organically in place for you. You don't even have to sweat it. The problem with a lot of these African parents is they watch their children jump on the plane, they've traveled abroad, they've gone to the UK, they've gone to the US, Germany, Australia, wherever, right? And the demand starts to kick in. Some of them will take the truckload of responsibility of the remaining siblings and transfer it by way of emotional blackmail, push it on the shoulder of the ones that live abroad. This is one of the fundamental reasons why a lot of diasporans have been unable to benefit tremendously from their own sweat. You are in this Western system. The system is not forgiving. The system is designed to drain your resources, rent, mortgage, car, everything, food shopping, taking care of your children, before you now get to the point of how much do I have left as extra. These people don't want to listen to you. Yeah, imagine, I told you now, this guy is a bus driver. He's a 44-year-old grown man living here in the UK. Parents in Nigeria gave him ultimatum by June of 2023, you must mandatorily bring 2 of your siblings to the UK so they can expand their tentacles or their access to Forex. So I asked this guy, I said, so wait, if you don't bring them by June of 2023, what's going to happen? So my dad said, I can forget about him. My mom said the same thing. My uncles too were sat in the meeting and they were like, I can forget about the family. And I could see the pain in the gentleman's eyes, the bitterness, the anger, the frustration. And I said, bro, I got news for you. You may have to forget about that family. You understand? So people always hijack these conversations. Don't forget your parents. No, that's not what we're talking about, man. Bad parents, parents who play out to be nuisance, they will be forgotten. You'll be left on the curb. You'll be pushed down the drain. The sense of entitlement, the application of toxic culture, emotional blackmail is too much. Imagine threatening your own child that they will be ostracized from the family tree if they don't give you XYZ. And these things actually destroy a lot of people emotionally. Your family is all you've known all your life. And here are your parents at the pinnacle of affairs, threatening you, making ridiculous demands. Look at these ones. Look at this story. Look at this particular story. Dad said to this woman and her younger sister, I found a house for 10 million naira, blah, blah, blah. You deposit 2.5 million and you guys start paying 500,000 naira monthly. He's basically making demands. Authoritarian. It's like a dictator. I'm worried about my status at the age of 82. That's crazy. I've seen this, and I know this too well. A lot of them, when those parents can't gain access to you, they apply the weapon of religiosity. They would use Bible, they will threaten, they will say all sorts, to riddle you with guilt. They will get religious charlatans, pastors, it could be imams, and those ones will come preaching. If you know you want to amount to something in your life, If you do not give bread to your parents, your life will be destroyed. My brother, for the Bible says in the book of blah, 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 if you fail to give them what belongs to them, hellfire, but if you don't shut your goddamn mouth, what hellfire? The hellfire that you were given the contract of the architectural design, the hellfire that you set up. It's a brainwash. It's emotional blackmail. Che hellfire, to you back contract to set up. Were you the one that set up that hellfire? You supplied the diesel that kept the hellfire burning. Lies. One of the scariest things that you can say to a non-emancipated African child or African adult is you tell them they will be destroyed. Oh, their future wouldn't amount to anything if they don't, do X, Y, Z. It's a lie. Okay, for those of you know that I'm inclined to African spirituality, right? There was a gentleman that did Ifa divination. And Ifa divination, Idafa, uncovered the fact that his mother had gone into the dark path of African spirituality, applied diabolical means against him to make sure that this guy is bombarded with all forms of calamity. Here in the UK, he had a mountain of problems. He lost his job, finance was flattened out, depleted funds. He was struggling. He was almost homeless. He ran into problem with the police. He nearly ended up in jail. Just domino effect of palaver. So when he got involved with Ifa divination, it uncovered that his mother, due to purely based on vindictiveness, went to some dodgy place and asked them to attack and plague him. You know why? It's based on this ridiculous principle. I birthed you, I can have you destroyed. This is how extreme these can get with his parents. Believe me. A lot of them in their younger years, they are evidently financially reckless. Some of your fathers even had side ladies, side women, right? Side chicks. They had multiple kids everywhere. So now everything has gone bananas for them. They're old and gray. The bones are brittle. They wasted their resources when they were younger. They had no financial discipline. They attended parties every weekend. They splashed the money. They had multiple cars. There is nothing else. Then they start applying emotional blackmail. This is what we are banging on about. This is not about, oh, just turn your backs. I cannot stress this point enough. So, here's another one. A lady said, Phrankleen, I'm an average earner. I live in London, here in the UK. After paying my bills, every calendar month, I would have averagely £750 left. That's £750 for a lot of people within the Black community. To have £750 as disposable income, it's absolutely impossible. Some might be in career path, they might have jobs that allow them to save a lot more. But for the most part, most people can't set aside £750 as disposable income in a calendar month. I kid you not. If they want to save more than that, some have to take on extra jobs, work extra hours, and all that. So this person was saving their money, was deep disciplined with their finance, bought a land back home, trying to do things for themselves. The parents was on their neck. Now, this person said at some point, she used to help 3 siblings back home. She then made a trip, unannounced trip to Nigeria, and then found out that, oh, hang on, these guys are actually having a good time. They're not as broke as I thought. They're driving nice cars. They hid all these details away from me. So you know what she did? She cut everyone off. She stopped sending them money. She took them off her payroll, and very rightly so. So that allowed her to have 750, 800 pounds in income for herself. She received death threats. Did you hear what I said? Death threats from our own siblings because she cut off the monetary supply to take care of herself. She said, Phrankleen, I was able to buy some shares and put some things away for my children. My husband too, we started saving. We started putting hands in 1 or 2 projects and planning for the future. Do you see what I'm saying? Family back home were threatening her that the next time she comes home and they set eyes on her, they were going to do X, Y, Z. You don't have an idea what these Forex, pound sterling and dollars, what they have cost in a lot of families, African families. I know the reason why I bang on about these topics. It sits at the center point of a lot of problems. It's caused a lot of problem in our community. It's crazy. It's crazy. I've heard parents, and it's very common. Some of these parents, they're not going to say to you directly, no, they won't. They're not going to say to you. They're not going to say to you directly. So some of you are watching me now. You probably have not experienced this. So let's say your parents don't have their own houses built in Nigeria or whatever African country. You then start your own building project. Wait till you break the news to them and watch the body language. Hey dad, hey mom, ta-da, here is my 4-bedroom bungalow. Here's my 4-bedroom duplex. Just keep an eye on the body language and the reaction. Most of the time, they'll be dejected. They'll be unhappy. You want to know why? It's very simple. In these toxic culture, you are expected to build for them first. You understand? You are expected to build for them first. Do you understand? It's like it's an unspoken rule in the African side. And one interesting thing about life is when it comes to building homes, owning properties, because life is funny. Some people in their lifetime as adults, they might just be privileged to build just one house. Some will build 2, some will have 3. Some may have more than that. Some may never build. It happens all the time. So what I'm trying to say is, if you build your house and then you give that away, what if you don't get the chance to build another one for yourself? Who do you then blame? I've heard the story of someone who whilst living abroad, got carried away. He didn't have papers. He was surviving on the usage, unlawful usage of someone else's identity. You know the drill, right? But the brother was smart, smart enough to come with the idea of building back home, but foolish enough to put the building in his mother's name. He built the house, a 4-bedroom bungalow with a 2-bedroom BQ, boys' quarter, right? He put the whole thing in his mother's name, got carried away. Oh, my mommy. He saw the pictures and everything. He was elated. Sadly, down the line, unfortunately, he came under the negative spotlight of the immigration. And then he was removed from the West. At least you would think, okay, I have something to fall back on. The long and short, he got home and paperwork had changed. He couldn't even stay in the property that he built. Bear in mind, he's broke. He was deported. He tried his best, hardest to fight his siblings. They beat him up. They jumped him. They locked him up. Doesn't have money to fight. He lost that property for life. That guy is pretty much living from hand to mouth. Who sat at the center point of that fraud? His mum, in connivance with his siblings. Why would you build a house and put in your mother's name? Ilé àkọ́kọ́, èyí tó máa kọ́ láyé ẹ̀. It's totally different if you're already comfortable, you've got multiple properties. If you feel like building one for your mom, great. For somebody like me, if you have an elderly mother, I can have a property, build the property, and I can put my mom in that property. Say, okay, you know what? I want you to live in this house for free. The documentation will be in my name. Because sometimes what tends to happen is, if you build it for them, you will mysteriously find out down the line from the remainder of your siblings, the ones that are usually the bum will be the ones who inherit your sweat. Your parent, they're usually the favorites. Your parent will pass it on to them. So you might have an older brother, older sister, or younger brother, younger sister, who has not done anything positive with their life. They end up inheriting the property that you built, that you worked for. You understand? Wouldn't you rather the asset go to your own children? That's what I'm saying. The thing I think about the most now is how I can pass on wealth to my children, how I can contribute positively financially to their future. Never ever will I hope there'll be my pension plan. You see that statement, Kemi, about how I can contribute positively and financially to their future. This is why I'm emphasizing on these older generation. They have a totally toxic mindset. A lot of them don't pass on assets. They don't believe in the generational wealth. That's why even here in the West, when you look at the white folks, when you look at other communities, they excel because of generational wealth. You cannot stress that point enough. They don't do generational wealth. Most African parents don't. So how do you alleviate poverty? How do we break the cycle of poverty? I remember many years ago when I was in uni in this country, there was a girl called Anna. It was a white English girl, way younger than myself. And she used to take us to a place not far from our uni then. She would show us like the properties. Back then, 2 properties that her grandparents bought in a name when she was only a 5-year-old. So the rent from those properties were going into her trust fund from the age of 5. So at the time at uni, she told us that in 4 years, the paperwork of the property will be formally transferred, handed over to me. It's in her name, but the grandparents put the management of the property in the hands of a particular management company, the solicitors involved and all that. Young lady, look at the springboard of wealth that was given to her by her grandparents. And she's going to do what? Exactly the same thing and pay it forward. You cannot pray poverty away. Poverty is man-made. Poverty is man-made. If, in order for us to get rid of poverty, we have infrastructures, we have systems, we have measures in place to build wealth, to pass on wealth, generational wealth. You understand? So if we don't have those structures in place, how do we alleviate poverty? You're busy putting your claws into your children, subjecting them to emotional blackmail and pressure, draining them monetarily, going to war with them. How do you expect them to come out of the poverty cycle? That's the soft landing most of us black folks never had. Yes, Kemi, you're goddamn right. If you're starting a race, right, with someone, and somebody has that kind of head start, for you to catch up, you would try. Just imagine a young lady, 2 properties. Now, properties in that particular area as we speak, a 3-4 bedroom house in today's value, in that particular, if that lady is still owns those properties, if she's not sold them on, that property will be valued around 2 million, 2.5 million in today's value. And she has 2. That's roughly 5 million pounds in value. Let that marinate. Within the black community, we are very destructive. You're draining, you put your claws, your teeth into your children. What some of our people are facing just because they live in the diaspora from the people back home, it's unbelievable. So if somebody has a head start of 5 million pounds net worth, how can you compete with them? How can you successfully compete with those people? Generational poverty. You got them right. Father, in the name of Jesus, Jehovah, we cast out the spirit of poverty. O ye black man, wake up. You are mad. There's no spirit of poverty. Poverty is man-made. Lord, fire. Holy Ghost, fire. I cast. What? Poverty is man-made. So let's have a look. The young lady will excel because she has a mindset of generational wealth transfer. Some folks here got properties from their parents and grandparents, but they squander it. Yep, Wale Oyeti, I agree. I think mindset matters. Yeah. Now let me respond to that. Thank you for that comment. Here's another thing. When I talk about financial discipline, a lot of us fall into that category. Yeah. If from your formative years when you were young, if you're not shown the principles of finance, yeah, if you don't teach your children on how to be disciplined with money, how to if you don't tell them what delayed gratification is, if they have no knowledge about financial discipline and principles and all that. So you then grow old and you just throw a truckload of inheritance at them and they know nothing about finance. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to squander it. That's why a lot of these kids from the other communities that I'm referring to, they are immersed into the process right from when they were young. They teach them, they understand it. You can't give what you don't have. So some parents in Africa, they might have, some African parents, they might have, what do you call it now? They might be privileged to have one or two things to pass on. I personally knew a friend, a childhood friend, that father died in Nigeria. This is years ago in London. He just got a call from the father's lawyer in Lagos. Hey, hello, are you such and such? Do you want to come to Nigeria because your father left so assets in his will? He's asked us to give you this guy. He didn't even grow with the father. The man was a polygamous man. He had multiple wives, right? He didn't grow with the father like that. So he's like, it's like a lottery win. Like, what? He lives there in the UK with his siblings and his mom. So he went to Nigeria with his siblings and he got multi-millions of naira. He was given properties. He was given this. On one hand, we would look at that his father has done well for him, right? Just to add to what I was saying to that gentleman earlier, the problem was this guy had no clue. I remember years ago, the first thing he did, you know what he did? He jumped on the plane and he went to Vegas in United States. Has never been to a casino in his life. He went on spending spree, buying designers, and then he squandered some of the millions in cash. He went back to Nigeria. I think about a year later, he sold one of the properties. He squandered the whole money. Today, he lost everything. The importance of personal finance, wealth building, and generational wealth. Hopefully, our generation stays woke and do better than our parents. That's the problem. Diola said, Omwali. Yeah. But if you look at it critically, though, it's a vicious cycle. If you're a parent and you got children, oh, you don't teach them the principles because you can't give what you don't have. Do you understand? It doesn't matter how much you love your children. Oh, I love my son. I love my daughter. If you like, give them £1 million each. If they don't have the discipline in them, that £1 million will go like that. Our parents are unable to give us what they don't have. The toxic culture. We've got to undo it. You see, okay, check this out. Whatever happened to, this is one of the things I can't get my head around. Let's break this down a little bit. Whatever happened to compassion? You don't understand. I'm talking about vindictiveness, narcissism. So I'm a parent. Let's say, I'm talking hypothetically now. I ask my son for monetary help. Let's say genuinely I need help. And my son say, Dad, I can't give you £200 a month. I have quite a lot of outgoings. I've got to pay for this, the children, rent, blah, blah, blah. Dad, for now, I can only give you £70. This is what I can afford for now. I speak for myself in this regard. Even though I have a need for £200, maybe as a one-off or on a monthly basis, hypothetically speaking, my son can help me with £70 because he has his life. I would take it with gratitude. Did you hear what I said? The problem with a lot of these parents is even lack of compassion. That's what the self-entitlement addresses. You have mothers making unnecessary, ridiculous references to their breasts. Oh, you sucked on these boobies. Sorry, what has sucking on your breast as a baby got to do with where I am now in life as an adult? Oh, this is the scar from the C-section that brought you to existence. There was birth-related complications when you were going to have me, and then C-section was the available option. What's that got to do with me as a grown adult now in 2022 telling you that, Dad, I can only give you £100? It's emotional blackmail. What has me sucking breast milk got to do with that? Do you understand? I've heard parents threatening their kids, their children with curse. Oh, Jacking Jen one more. You see me, I am inclined to Isheshe. I'm a proud practitioner of Ifa. If any parent look at me in the eyeballs and say, oh, Mama shekpe fun of this, even if I keep quiet in front of you, I would take you to Eshu La Lu Girioko, Mama Filo Siwaju Eshu. That's right. Oh, my dad said, yeah, fun. If I don't talk, I would take you, Lo Siwaju Ifa. That's what I'm going to do. The universe will reward you accordingly, and you may die in the process. Because I have my Ori to protect. You don't understand, man. Children don't ask to be here. So when they grow up, they don't owe their parents jack shit. I've said it and I will say it again. If you're a good parent, you have a healthy relationship with your children, things will come your way organically. If you're a good mother and you respect the boundaries of your son's marital life, you're not trying to control him and control your daughter-in-law, you're not toxic, your daughter-in-law will love you. It will be double barrel blessing. Your son will take care of you, your daughter-in-law will embrace you like an additional mother. They will look after you. Who says Ifa doesn't permit a child to curse their parents? Who told you? What Ifa do you practice? If you have a toxic parent, yeah? Did you hear what I said? That's vindictive. That's aiming attack at their children. If you are maliciously hounding and attacking your children, I would take you. Wait for the outcome. Who told you? If a child goes in front of Ifa, and you lie, your mother is a good mother, and you go and lie, you go and misrepresent, Eshu will deal with you. Whatever you say will backfire. But if you are toxic, you threaten to destroy the life of your children or you threaten them with negativity, you'll be dealt with. Pay it forward, not backward. Thank you. That's what we're banging on about, man. I think some African parents lack love for their children. That's why they demand things from them without feels. Yeah. Somebody said they told their father that they work 2 jobs, they barely sleep for 6 hours. And the father says, so what? You are young, you are vibrant. That's what you are there for. Did you hear that? That's enough for you to cut some people off, man. What kind of parent is that? What happened to compassion? What happened to human feelings? You're telling your parents you got 2 jobs, you work lengthy hours, you can barely sleep for 5 hours, and they're telling you, so what? Last month, you were a bit late with sending of that money. That's what you are there for. As a Black American, this is so sad to hear. I pray that we as a worldwide Black community would do better for future generations. You see, I think some African parents lack love. Oh, yeah, I read that already. I'm praying for all my family members to disown me because I need to have peace of peace of mind, man. It's the lack of empathy. Or lojuano. Yeah. The problem is seeing those children as investment. Thank you. In fact, some of these parents, if you ask them, Dad, what happened with your finance? Why didn't you plan for retirement? They regard it as rudeness. They call you all sorts of names. I'm not just here talking because, oh, I'm making a YouTube video. It's nice to say these things. No. I'm planning for my retirement. Meaning, I'm not going to wait for any child to feed. If you're disciplined with your finance, you plan for your future, you're going to be all right. My father didn't even train me at first. He can't even bother me with such. Yeah. 10 months in the UK, 82-year-old, he wants a bungalow. I think it's best to distance oneself from than paying back with evil, as in going to oblivion towards, cut them off. They wouldn't know that I'm alive, Seth. The narrative has to change. I'm selling you that revolution. So that, why am I saying this? Okay, on a closing note, so that you and I can do better for our own children. Because if you pass on that healthy narrative to your own children, hopefully they would do well for the next generation that they bring into existence. And then we pass on. Some of you women, that you spend your money now on jewelries, on clothings every weekend, parties, spraying money, nonsensical expenditure. And then when arthritis start to deal with your joints on diabetes, and because you're plus size and all that, you're getting older now, don't start putting undue pressure on your children, because by that time, they are adults. Some of them already have young children. Some of them have their university debts to pay, their rent, their things to deal with, because you will be surprised. You get the shock of your life. It's not because they are evil. It's just the reality of life. If you don't plan, let's not blame those ignorant parents too much because they are acting the script culture wrote for them. That's what we're saying. You got to break the cycle. We can't keep making excuse. Break the goddamn cycle, man. Cut yourself from the cycle. My mom and I are at war. Phrankleen, thumbs up. Sometimes we indirectly encourage our family members to demand a lot from us. We claim and form to have arrived and have made it big broad, whereas we're still struggling. Goddamn right. You see one person travel from a family of 5 back home. So all of your siblings are expecting handouts from you, inclusive of the 2 parents if they're still alive. And over here, you can barely set aside £200. Poverty will kill you. Now, 200 naira bi-weekly, my papa, they give me, go university back in transport alone, go take 40 and 50 naira. But now, the Bobo say, make I send down 50K a month. I be like, bank, give him what you've got, man, what you can afford. Africans need to own their mental well-being, end the toxic cycle passed down from your parents, and actively start creating wealth for yourself and children. Some of these parents, if you say, Mom, these African parents, hey, Mom, do you have life insurance? right? They instantaneously say, God forbid. Ah, I shall not die, but live to witness the blah, 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 according to this, and the blah, blah. Wait, no. Do you have life insurance? Dad, do you have? Oh, 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 you want me to die so you can cash out. Do you see? Do you understand? Speaking of life in the diaspora, I'm sure some of you know this. It's not a joke when it comes to burial. Here in the UK, you pay a lot of money, thousands of pounds, to bury a dead body. There's a lot of black families when people die, their mom dies, dad dies, because there's no savings. There's no insurance. They start doing GoFundMe, they come on Instagram, they go on Facebook. Yes. Yes. Imagine asking random members of the public to help you bury your mom. What? Do you understand? Please, you talked about trust fund for children. Please, can you get an expert to teach us how to make a trust fund for children and how to make good life insurance policy? Some of these parents are well-to-do, rich and educated, yet they trouble us, the children. Yeah, but so many of us brag we have all of these money. Yeah, Arthur, that's another trap. When you run your mouth that you have monies that you don't have, they'll come after you. That's right. Even if they see their kids as investment, that should be only parents that doesn't have anything but do everything possible to invest in their education. Do bet, not those that doesn't. If they work so hard for you to get to where you are, do you just cut them off like that? I think you need to balance things up. Hey, let me clarify this. I understand that people interpret things differently. This isn't just about cut them off. Let me tell you something. If they, they paid dues, they sacrificed, I got news for you. I'm a father. Jokes aside now, you're looking at Phrankleen now. I got 3 children. Between me and my wife, we have to sacrifice for them. We must sacrifice for them. We do that all the time because it's a default setting. I'm not just sat here talking. I'm not reading from a script. I'm a parent. My firstborn is a 16-year-old. We have a duty of care towards them. We brought them into human existence. So let me tell you, man, in the worst case scenario, let's say I have £100 left on me. Between me and my wife, £100 is what we've got left. Bro, sacrifices, if your children need £90 to put bread on the table, I've got to give them the £90 and keep the little £10 in my pocket and crack on as a man. That's sacrifice. Until they become adults, they fly out of the nest, they can look after themselves now. You understand? You have to do that. So when somebody tries to weaponize, oh, I suffered. I borrowed sugar from the next door so you could drink your pop. I sold my wig so you could go to school. Yeah. Yeah. You had to sell your wig. You had to lose your edges so your children survive. It's the noble thing to do. You see, check this. This is why everything needs balancing. It's not enough that, oh, I did this, I did that. You see, look at the emotional side of things, bonding side of things. It's not enough. That's why there's some fathers. Oh yeah, I paid your school fees and this. You were never there for your son. You don't have that good relationship with them. So all of those things would almost count for nothing. If you have a healthy relationship with your children, aloma not here say, they will remember you when they grow older. They will never forget. They will never forget you. You see, one of the worst things you can do as an adult is you were a bad parent when your children were young, when they were younger, when they were little kids. They have a nasty memory about you. You ignored them and stuff. And then they're older now. You're trying to force this narrative of, I'm your mom, I'm your dad, you must take care of me. They're not stupid. The fact that they're not saying it to your face doesn't mean their brain is not functioning. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're just looking at you like this woman had done lost her goddamn mind. Every adult watching me this present moment, if you close your eye for a moment, and if I tell you to just picture your mom and dad, if you have them, if you grew up around them, you already have your memories in your archive for life. Your memories about your dad, was he a good man? Was it the man that bit the crap out of you unnecessarily? Was your mom a good mom? Not because she had a womb to bring you into existence. Was she a good mother? She yagidini. Are you, when you were younger, are you able, even as an adult, are you able to confide in your mom? If you close your eyes now, you know who your parents are. Do you understand? That's exactly what I'm saying. Phrankleen, can you sell that house you building in Nigeria to train? Which house are you building? Sell client's house. Sell customer's house, Abi. If I have a house in Nigeria, can I sell it? Can I sell it to train my children? Why should I? You training, well, what house? If I have a house built, why would I sell my house? There's got to be a justification behind it. Do you understand? There has to be a justification behind it. If I built one house and I've got to sell it, so I'm going to become homeless, and I'm already in the evening part of my house, I'm not going to sell it all. I am not. Because what that would do to me will be, if I have nothing left, then that would probably involve me and my wife. If I have nothing left, that would basically mean me and my wife in the evening part of our life, we have nothing left. So that child, they're just starting off, yeah? And then it will put us in that precarious situation where we become dependent on them. And I would never do that to myself. If I have multiple assets, let's say I have land, a plot here, a plot there, and then maybe I have cash tied in investments and I think I can flip this land, there's a justification to prop up my daughter or my son to do something. That's different. I have one house and that's the one I'm living in and I just have to sell it. Oh yeah, so I can. On my selling jack. Not doing that. We'll find a way around your goals. I'm not going to sell my home. The only thing in extenuating circumstance, if it was a life and death situation whereby the said child was on a hospital bed and you have to pay for something like health treatment, now that's because I'm going to do my best to make sure that even the universe would know that I tried my best to keep my child alive. Regardless of your age, even if you're a 50-year-old, if my son is on a sick bed or my daughter, and I have to help them to stay alive, I will try my best. Now, that's a different conversation. But sell my house so you can go to university. Show Shireni. Lokoshe wall. University call. Central varsity. The same way our parents say we owe them because they took care of us when we were small. You have to. That's your default setting, man. It's like saying, as a father, you take your child to the park, you take them for football games, you spend time with them. They're in a play in school. You go and watch them perform. You help your teenage son how to do their ties. You spend time with them, take them to the movie. That's what you're supposed to do. Franklin, you have to step the game up past the symptoms and hit the condition remedy. We embrace complaint in our own detriment. What are you talking about, man? You can always borrow money to go to school. No bank would loan you money for retirement. Don't play yourself, man. Because right there, that's an entrapment. You understand? Some parents did that. And I must also say on a final note that with children, if you have 4 children, if you have 3 children, bear in mind that they are different entities. There are genuine stories of parents that were truly good to their children, and some children, they turn out to be bastards. And it's got nothing to do with you as a parent. There are some people like that. They turn out to just be totally weird people. And they go the other way and they turn out to be totally different entities as adults. I've seen that. That's why you have to look after yourself. So you have 3 children. 2 of them might be compassionate, but one can physically help you here and now. The other one, who is also compassionate, is still struggling. They don't have enough to give you. The third one has money. They just won't give you. What do? They don't care. They are reckless. They're living their life. That's why you must plan for your own retirement. My late father's family asked us for 10 million naira to bury their mother when we were paying 4K per month to a nursing home after she had stroke. My 2 sisters and I were struggling. It's Nigeria. Parents are responsible for the children's upkeep until they are independent because you ordered them into existence. That's right. And while you are at it, plan your retirement. Simple as that. Thank you very much. It's been amazing. Thank you for watching my... I love my dad. His perspective is quite different from the average Nigerian father. He says he is responsible to see his children to an independent state, not to depend on them as future retirement. Dr. Teniola, that's exactly my mindset. That's exactly my mindset. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for watching. If you haven't, please smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Send me your stories to foodchannel1960@gmail.com. Look for my email address in the description below. And yeah, your children are not your retirement plan. And then the flip side to this, your parents should also not be your ATM. If you're an adult, and then you're one of those people that in your parents' old age with their brittle bones, you're still fighting them for money, shame on you. Get out there, sort yourself out, stop being a bum, okay? If you have, give them. But in all things, particularly from my diasporan brothers and sisters, prioritize yourself, prioritize your life, prioritize your goals. Look after yourself so that you don't end up biting your fingertips. See you in the next